The research dome's lights flickered ominously as Maya Sharma hunched over her workstation, surrounded by specimens of extraterrestrial plant life. Outside, the relentless storms of Novaterra's monsoon season battered the transparent panels, a constant reminder of how far from Earth she truly was. Final notice, the message on her tablet read, Research Station NS-12 funding terminated effective 30 days from receipt. Evacuation protocols enclosed. Maya pushed back from her desk, her dark hair falling from its messy bun as she paced the laboratory. 6 years of pioneering xenobotanical research, identifying adaptive properties in alien flora that could revolutionize agriculture across colonized worlds, all about to be abandoned because of bureaucratic budget cuts. There has to be another way, she muttered, examining the rare luminescent bloom she'd spent 3 years cultivating. The flower's petals pulsed with soft blue light, responding to her voice. A plant that communicated through sound vibration and might hold the key to interspecies communication. At 32, Maya had sacrificed everything for this research: relationships, family connections, the comfort of Earth. Now the United Galactic Science Commission deemed her work insufficiently profitable in the short term. Her assistant, Raj, appeared at the doorway, his expression grim. Administrator Chen wants to see you. Says it's urgent. The administration building stood at the center of the small research colony, a modest structure compared to the gleaming headquarters back on Earth. Inside, Maya found Administrator Chen looking unusually nervous, accompanied by a figure Maya had never seen before. The visitor stood nearly 7 feet tall with skin the color of twilight, a deep purple that seemed to shimmer subtly under the office lights. Their features were humanoid, but with striking differences. Eyes slightly larger and entirely silver without visible pupils, and hair that appeared to float weightlessly around their face like tendrils of cosmic dust. Dr. Sharma, Chen said formally, may I present Ambassador Zephyr of the Lysian Collective? They've requested to meet with you specifically. Maya's heartbeat quickened. The Lysians were notoriously reclusive, one of the most advanced civilizations in the explored galaxy. Their rare interactions with humans were strictly diplomatic, never personal. Ambassador, Maya managed, extending her hand before remembering Lysians avoided physical contact with other species. She quickly withdrew it. Dr. Sharma, Zephyr's voice resonated with harmonic undertones that made the air vibrate pleasantly. Your research on interspecies botanical communication is of great interest to my people. Thank you, Maya replied, confusion evident in her voice. Though I'm afraid my research is being terminated due to funding issues. This is precisely why I have come, Zephyr said, silver eyes unblinking. The Lysian Collective wishes to propose an arrangement that would benefit both your research and our diplomatic interests. Administrator Chen cleared his throat nervously. Perhaps you two should discuss this privately. The ambassador has requested confidentiality. Once alone, Zephyr moved with fluid grace to the window, studying the storm outside. Your colony's location borders Lysian territory. My government has long monitored your work from afar. I had no idea, Maya said, genuinely surprised. We are private by nature, Zephyr continued, but circumstances necessitate adaptation. The Galactic Council has pressured the Lysian Collective to demonstrate greater integration with other species. They threaten trade sanctions if we remain isolationist. Maya nodded slowly. I still don't understand what this has to do with my research. Zephyr turned, silver eyes reflecting the room's light. I propose a solution to both our problems. A marriage contract. The word hung in the air between them, absurd and impossible. Marriage? Maya repeated. Between us, but that's a practical arrangement, Zephyr clarified. The Lysian Collective would fully fund your research for 10 years, guaranteed. In exchange, you would become my diplomatic spouse, attending council functions and demonstrating successful human-Lysian integration. Maya's mind raced, trying to process the proposition. This is insane. Interspecies marriages are extremely rare, and usually between species with greater compatibility. Yet legally recognized throughout council space, Zephyr countered. The contract would be for 5 Earth years minimum. Your research continues uninterrupted with triple your current funding. The Lysian Collective gains political leverage. Both parties benefit. Outside, lightning illuminated the research dome where Maya's life's work waited, on the verge of extinction. 6 years of discovery that could help feed billions across struggling colonies. Would I have to leave this station? She asked, surprising herself with the question. No, I would relocate here, establishing a diplomatic outpost. Your work continues as before, with additional Lycian resources at your disposal. Maya studied the alien before her, mysterious, otherworldly, yet offering a lifeline she never expected. Why me? Surely there are more politically connected humans who would serve your purpose better. For the first time, Zephyr's composed demeanor shifted slightly. Your research on communication between divergent species aligns with my personal interests. The political advantage was merely how I convinced my government to approve this proposal. The storm outside intensified, mirroring the turmoil in Maya's thoughts. A marriage of convenience with an alien diplomat, scientifically fascinating but personally terrifying. I need time to consider this, she said finally. Of course, Zephyr replied. You have until tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Lycian Council requires my answer then. As the ambassador departed, Maya remained motionless, staring at the research dome visible through the rain-streaked window. Her life's work or her independence, a choice that felt like no choice at all. Terms and conditions. Maya spent a sleepless night weighing her options. By morning, she had reached her decision. The Lycian transport vessel glimmered like liquid mercury against the stormy sky as Maya approached the landing pad. Ambassador Zephyr waited beneath a sheltered area, their tall form draped in iridescent fabric that shifted colors with each movement. I accept your proposal, Maya said without preamble, her voice steady despite her racing heart. But I have conditions. Zephyr's expression remained unreadable, but a subtle ripple of color passed across their skin, perhaps surprise or approval. I expected nothing less. Please continue. My research remains entirely under my control. I'll attend your diplomatic functions, but my work comes first. Maya watched for any reaction as she continued. Complete privacy in my personal quarters, and I need everything in writing. All guarantees about research funding, the duration of our arrangement, and exit clauses if either party wishes to terminate early. Reasonable terms. Zephyr nodded. I have brought a preliminary agreement for your review.
The first week of cohabitation was an exercise in careful navigation, both physical and social. Maya's personal quarters remained her sanctuary, while Zephyr occupied the newly constructed diplomatic suite adjacent to the research station. They shared a common living area, designed to serve as both meeting space for visitors and the public face of their arrangement. These arrived from Lycian Central, Zephyr announced one morning, presenting Maya with a container of softly glowing crystals. Atmospheric regulators. They'll adjust the humidity and oxygen content in our shared spaces to a comfortable median between human and Lycian preferences. Maya accepted the gift, genuinely touched by the thoughtfulness. That's very considerate. I noticed you've been using breathing assistance when our humidity drops. Zephyr's expression shifted subtly, surprise perhaps that she had noticed. Lycians evolved in a more moisture-rich environment. Your attention to detail is appreciated. Small moments of consideration began to characterize their interactions. Maya adjusted the lighting to the slightly dimmer levels Zephyr preferred. Zephyr programmed the food synthesizer to prepare Maya's favorite tea each morning. They developed a rhythm, professional but increasingly comfortable. 2 weeks after the ceremony, they faced their first public appearance, a virtual meeting with the Galactic Council's Committee on Interspecies Relations. Maya found herself unexpectedly nervous as they sat side by side before the communication array. They will ask personal questions, Zephyr warned quietly as they waited for the connection. The committee is skeptical of our arrangement. What should I say? Maya whispered. The truth, presented selectively. We are learning about each other's cultures. We have common intellectual interests. We are adapting to each other. The meeting proceeded more smoothly than expected, with Maya finding it surprisingly easy to describe their partnership in terms that were technically accurate while implying greater intimacy than actually existed. She spoke of Zephyr's interest in her research, their shared meals, and the cultural exchange they were experiencing. When asked directly about challenges in their relationship, Maya responded with genuine feeling. Understanding someone from another world requires patience and openness. We're building something unique, step by step. Zephyr's hand moved to rest beside hers on the table, not quite touching, but close enough that the gesture would be visible to the committee. The subtle support warmed Maya more than she expected. After the call ended, a moment of awkward silence stretched between them before Zephyr spoke. "You performed admirably." The committee appeared convinced. "I didn't feel like I was performing," Maya admitted, surprising herself with the realization. "Most of what I said was true." Later that evening, as Maya worked late in her laboratory, Zephyr appeared at the entrance carrying 2 steaming mugs. "You missed the evening meal cycle. I thought you might appreciate sustenance." Maya accepted the offered drink, a spiced tea that had become her favorite since Zephyr introduced it. "Thank you. I lost track of time monitoring the communication patterns in the resonant vine." Instead of leaving, Zephyr lingered, observing her work with evident curiosity. "May I?" they asked, gesturing toward the specimen. "Of course." Maya moved aside, watching as Zephyr examined the plant with the precision of a fellow scientist. "On my world, we have similar species that respond to harmonic frequencies. They form vast networks beneath our cities, sometimes spanning hundreds of kilometers." "That's fascinating." Maya leaned closer, her arm accidentally brushing against Zephyr's. The contact sent that now familiar tingling sensation across her skin, but this time it lingered pleasantly. They worked together for hours, Zephyr offering insights about similar Lycian flora and Maya explaining her theories on cross-species botanical communication. When they finally stopped, Maya realized it was well past midnight and they had moved from professional discussion to personal history without noticing the transition. "My family expected me to join the Lycian diplomatic corps like my progenitors. My interest in xenobiology was considered inappropriate for someone of my lineage." "I understand," Maya replied. "My parents wanted me to practice medicine on Earth. They still don't fully comprehend why I'd choose to study plants on a distant colony. It seems we both disappointed our families by following our intellectual curiosity," Zephyr observed, "but found each other because of it," Maya added without thinking. The words hung between them, more intimate than intended. Zephyr's skin rippled with that subtle color change Maya was beginning to recognize as emotional response. "Yes," they agreed softly. "Perhaps that is the unexpected harmony in our arrangement." As Maya prepared for sleep that night, she found herself replaying their conversation, particularly the moment their arms had touched. The sensation had been pleasant, almost addictive in its novelty. She had assumed any physical attraction between their species was impossible, yet she couldn't deny the subtle shift in her awareness of Zephyr as more than a diplomatic partner. Across the station, Zephyr also reflected on their evolving relationship. Human emotions were notoriously complex, but the Lycian found themselves increasingly drawn to Maya's intellectual passion and unexpected adaptability. The marriage had been proposed for practical reasons, yet already it was becoming something neither had anticipated, a genuine connection forming across the vast biological and cultural differences that separated them.
3 months into their arrangement, the boundaries between diplomatic necessity and genuine companionship had begun to blur. Maya and Zephyr now routinely shared meals, discussed their work, and even enjoyed occasional recreational activities together. The research station staff had grown accustomed to seeing them walking the biodome gardens in the evenings, deep in conversation. "Your funding approval came through," Maya announced one morning, unable to contain her excitement as she burst into their shared living space. The Lycian Science Council approved the expanded xenobotanical laboratory. Zephyr looked up from their data terminal, silver eyes brightening. "This is excellent news. When will construction begin?" "Next month. I can finally build the atmospheric chamber for cross-breeding experiments." She impulsively reached out, squeezing Zephyr's arm in her excitement. The touch sent that now familiar tingling sensation through both of them, but this time neither pulled away. Instead, Zephyr's free hand moved to cover hers, their cooler skin creating a pleasant contrast. "I am pleased for you, Maya," they said softly. The use of her first name, once formal and awkward, now carried a warmth that made her heart beat faster. The moment was interrupted by an urgent alert from the communications system. Administrator Chen's voice came through, tense with concern. "Dr. Sharma, Ambassador Zephyr, emergency situation developing. Please report to the command center immediately." They arrived to find Chen standing before a holographic display showing a massive atmospheric disturbance approaching the colony. "Ionospheric storm," Chen explained grimly. "Category 5. Our shields aren't rated for this magnitude." Maya studied the projection with growing alarm. "When will it hit?" 6 hours. Evacuation protocols are already initiated, but our transport capacity is limited. We can get essential personnel out, but— "The specimens," Maya whispered, thinking of her irreplaceable collection of alien flora, some of which were the last of their kind, years of research. Zephyrs stepped forward, their tall form commanding attention. "The Lycian diplomatic vessel has advanced shielding technology. If modified, it could protect a section of the station." "Modified how?" Chen asked skeptically. "The shields could be reconfigured to cover the research dome, but it would require redirecting power from life support systems." Zephyr turned to Maya. "The vessel would be uninhabitable during the storm, but your specimens would survive." "What about the people who can't evacuate?" Maya asked. "The main colony shelter could accommodate them, but it's rated for only Category 3 storms." Chen's expression was grim. "We're looking at significant structural damage." "Unless we had additional shielding," Zephyr thought thoughtfully. "Maya, the resonant vines you've been studying, they absorb and redistribute energy, correct?" Maya's eyes widened as she understood. "Yes, and when linked in a network, they could theoretically create a dispersal field for atmospheric electrical charges." Her mind raced with possibilities. "But we'd need to establish a massive network in hours, and I've never tested them under these conditions." "I have seen similar applications on my world," Zephyr replied. "Together we might adapt the technique." What followed was a frantic collaboration. While the colony prepared for evacuation, Maya and Zephyr worked seamlessly to implement their desperate plan. They transplanted resonant vines along the shelter's exterior, creating a living conductive network. Zephyr's knowledge of Lycian bioharmonics complemented Maya's understanding of the plant's communication patterns, allowing them to stimulate accelerated growth and responsivity. As the storm's edge approached, turning the sky an ominous green, Maya and Zephyr stood together on the shelter's roof, making final adjustments to the vine network. "The first wave will hit in 20 minutes, Maya said, checking the atmospheric readings. "We should get inside." Zephyr hesitated, looking at the readings with concern. "The harmonic frequency isn't stabilizing. The network needs a stronger initial pulse to synchronize properly." "What kind of pulse?" Maya asked. "Lycians can generate bioelectric fields for short periods. I could provide the necessary synchronization, but I would need to remain outside when the storm hits." "That's too dangerous," Maya protested. "There is no alternative. Without proper synchronization, the shield will fail." Maya stared at the approaching storm and then back at Zephyr, the alien who had begun as a convenient solution to her funding problems, but had become something far more important. "Then I'm staying too," she decided. "The vines respond to my voice. I can help maintain the communication pattern while you provide the energy pulse." "Maya, the risk is one we'll take together," she finished firmly. "That's what partners do." As the storm descended upon them, they worked in perfect coordination. Zephyr generated pulsing waves of bioelectric energy that flowed through the vine network, while Maya spoke to the plants in specific tonal patterns that enhanced their receptivity. The vines responded, glowing with increasing brightness as they absorbed and redistributed the storm's destructive energy. The first lightning strike hit with blinding intensity. The impact knocked Maya off her feet, but Zephyr caught her with reflexive speed, their arms encircling her protectively. The physical contact was the most complete they had ever shared, and despite the danger surrounding them, Maya felt an overwhelming sense of connection as their bodies pressed together. "Are you injured?" Zephyr asked, their voice carrying even through the storm's roar. "No," Maya replied, looking up into those silver eyes that once seemed so alien but now held a familiar warmth. "The shield is holding." Indeed, the vines had formed a glowing dome of energy above the shelter, dissipating the storm's fury into harmless light. Their theory was working, their collaboration saving both her precious research and the colony's personnel. As they maintained their position through the height of the storm, Maya became acutely aware of Zephyr's arms still around her, the pleasant tingling sensation of their skin against hers, and the rhythm of their breathing synchronizing with her own. The diplomatic marriage that had begun as a convenient arrangement had transformed into something neither had anticipated, a partnership of minds and, increasingly, of hearts. When the storm finally passed hours later, leaving them exhausted but triumphant, Maya looked up at Zephyr's face, illuminated by the bioluminescent glow of the vines they had harmonized together. "I think," she said softly, "that this is no longer just a contract between us." Zephyr's hand gently traced the curve of her cheek, the gesture tender and exploratory. "No," they agreed, their voice carrying harmonics that seemed to resonate within Maya's very core. "It has become something far more complex and far more valuable."